up guys, Jasmine here, and for today's video I decided to do something a bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys the gun that I use, the attachments that I use for the gun, and why I think these attachments actually make the gun as overpowered as it is. So we're going to go over here to weapons, we're going to go to edit loadout, then we're going to go to custom loadout 2, which is where I have my primary weapon, the Kilo 141. It's an assault rifle and I currently have it at level 69. I also have it so that I can have a secondary weapon, and I have the shotgun. I don't use it as much, so it's only at level 4. So we're gonna go to gunsmith, and as you guys can see, these are all the attachments that I have on it. For the muzzle, I have the muzzle brake, which actually the pros of it are basically recoil stabilization, which basically means that your recoil isn't as bad and it actually helps you out when shooting. And as you guys can see, I tend to look at the accuracy, damage, range, fire rate, mobility, and control of the weapon whenever I'm like looking at any of these. And when I press the other ones, all of these, they weren't as good as this one, as the muzzle brake, because I looked at the accuracy for the other ones and the accuracy wasn't good in any of them besides this one. So that's why I chose it, because the accuracy would be better and it would help me out in the long run. So I have the muzzle brake as the first attachment. Then for the barrel, I have the SingGuard Arms 16.6 SOCOM. And as you guys can see, it has more pros than cons. It has damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, which all of these three are great things to have in a weapon. As you guys can see, the accuracy is spot on, which means that if you shoot, you're obviously not gonna miss. The range means that you can shoot long range, like if you're like half across the map from somebody, you can get them. That's why in a lot of my montages you guys see that I'm able to get these long range shots and not miss. So yeah, and then the control is also really good. It's not as good, but it's like a little good. When I tested these other ones out, I haven't tested the SingGuard Arms 19.8, but it's also another good one to have. The only bad thing about it is the movement speed, which is going to make it really hard for you guys to move. Like, you're gonna be a little bit slower because the gun will be a little bit heavier. But it is a bit better than this one. As you guys can see the difference. The accuracy goes up by a little bit more, the range goes up by a little bit more, and the control goes up by a little bit more. But mobility goes down by a lot. For the next one, for the laser, I didn't really put a laser on this just because, I mean, they don't really have cons. I mean, this one doesn't have a con, so if you guys want to put a laser on this one, you can do it. It's not really gonna affect you. But these two, as you guys can see, the laser is visible to enemies. So I wouldn't recommend these two, just because if you're trying to be sneaky with it, you do not want to have a laser, because they're going to obviously see it and they're going to see where it's coming from and you're dead. But these two say for pros, the hip fire accuracy, sprint to fire speed. So the accuracy is good and the mobility is good. And then for this one, it's aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. So this one is pretty good, but the con is what gets me. That's why I don't have it. Laser is visible to enemies, so I'd rather be sneaky than have a laser. So that's why I don't have any. If I were to have one, I'd probably have this one, the 1MW laser, just because it has no cons, so I got nothing to lose. For the optic, I have the Crop Combat Hollow Sight, and I only have it just because on every Call of Duty that I've played, BO3, BO4, I think even the older ones, those were Black Ops. But on those, I would always like to have this kind of optic. I never liked these, like the really big ones. I understood the point. Or I would either take this one or that one, Operator Reflex Sight or the Crop Compact. Now, this one is really good because of the precision sight picture, which means the accuracy is better, the range is better, and honestly, for me, it's just easier. I think that's why I've gotten so much better with shooting and the accuracy and all that, just because it's more comfortable to use. If anything, I could switch to this one, it'd probably be the same, but as you guys can see, the accuracy does go down by a little bit, the range goes down by a lot. The only things that do improve by a small margin are the mobility and the control. So we're gonna stick with this one. Then we're gonna go to stock. I again don't have no stocks, just because I don't want my gun to be heavy or anything like that. I don't want to attach too many things to it and then have it be like extra heavy. So like I said, I don't have anything on it. If I put no stock, it'd be movement speed and aim down sight speed would be pros, and then cons would be aiming stability and recoil control, and that's what we don't want. The cons are like the main reason why I haven't done this, because as you guys can see, the accuracy goes down by a lot, the range goes down by a lot, and the control goes down. The only thing that goes up is mobility. The same thing for this one, and then for this one it's not bad. The range stays the same, the accuracy goes up by a little bit, the control goes up by a little bit, and the mobility decreases by like a small margin. And this one is the same thing as the other one. The mobility increases by a lot, and the control and accuracy decrease by a small margin. But I still don't want to risk it, so I just leave it as is. The next thing is, I don't have a perk on this gun. I used to have Sleight of Hand, which was reload quickness, but I took it off just so I could have a second weapon. The rear grip, no rear grip on this. I could add one, because the only thing that would probably change would be the mobility, and it would go down by a little bit. I could have this one as well, because the recoil control would actually be very, very, very good, and the accuracy improves by a lot. But I'll leave it as is, because the only reason why I'm not changing anything is because the gun, the way I have it, the way everything is attached, it's working for me. So I'm just gonna leave it as is and not change anything, because if I change anything, it'll probably just stop working. I have 50 round mags on it, just because it's the least amount of mags I like. You know, obviously magazine ammo capacity is higher. The mobility decreases by a little bit, and the control really decreases by a little bit, if I put 60 or 100, it's not gonna be that good. So I just leave it as is again. I'm a very basic person. I don't like change. So when I have a gun a certain way, I leave it as is until I feel like I want to try something new and change something up. And then for the underbarrel, I have the Commando foregrip, and this one is actually something that I'll probably never change on this gun because of the recoil stabilization and the aiming stability. The accuracy is up by a lot, the range is up by a lot, and then the control is up by a lot. Mobility we don't really care about because it's down by like a small margin, so I definitely recommend you guys to use this if you're gonna use the Kilo 141. The only con for this one is the movement speed, but that doesn't really matter. On the other ones, it's not as good. Like, as you guys can see, there are more cons than pros. So definitely recommend the Commando foregrip. And I think that would be it for that. For customizations, I have this camouflage, the skull, hemophiliac camouflage is really dope. I wanted to change it to maybe a pink one or maybe this red one, but this one is actually really cool, so I'm gonna stick with it. I obviously have like this little little charm. And then for the stickers, as you guys can see, I only have like 3 stickers. Just, you know, just to give the gun a little extra oomph. For the shotgun, I don't really have anything for the shotgun, so I'm not gonna show you guys that. But for this, for the perks, for perk 1, I have Cold-Blooded, which is undetectable by AI targeting system, and thermal optics does not trigger high alert warning. This is a good one to have. I haven't really changed it, honestly. I feel like this is the best one I could have out of all of them, so I keep it as is. This is the one that I was talking about, Overkill, for perk 2. I like this one just because I get to have 2 primary weapons. So if my Kilo 141 is out of ammo, switch to the shotgun, you know, get 1 shot, 1 kills, no problem. I used to have, which one was it? I think I used to have Ghost, which was undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and heartbeat sensors. This is another good one to have. So if you don't want to have Overkill, you can have Ghost. It's great. But yeah, I have Overkill. And then I have Tracker for perk 3, which comes in very handy. Sometimes you see the footsteps of your enemies and you're able to track them down and just kill them. So yeah, I definitely recommend having the Tracker if you don't have the Tracker, just because it definitely comes in handy 100%. And then for lethal and tactical, for lethal I have a frag grenade just because I'm very, very simple. I don't like to do the most. I was actually thinking of using a thermite, but I'll stick to the simplicity and use a frag grenade. And then for tactical, this is one of my favorites. I love the stim. This is literally like has saved my life on multiple occasions. The military stimulant that cauterizes combat wounds and refreshes tactical sprint. This, guys, if there is anything from tactical that I recommend you have, is definitely this stim. If you get shot good 3, maybe 2 times and your health is low and you want to like regenerate your health as fast as possible to get back out there, use this 100%. That's what I used in my last video, where you guys would see me like, you know, pumping that into like my operator system. It would get me going again, like my health would generate again, and I would get back into the fight as fast as possible. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. And that's essentially it. You know, that's pretty much the gun that I use. I 100% recommend it. I recommend you guys use it the way I have it, but obviously it's not going to work the same way for everybody. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little commentary on this gun. Leave a comment down below if you liked it, leave a like, and remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.